My game week 1 championship predictions. Up first is Birmingham versus Ipswich. I think this is going to be a really competitive game between two great sides. Birmingham have got the likes of Diego Farashi, Jay Stansfield, Tommy Doyle, and also they broke their EFL point record last season. They've got a lot of hype around them this season. They've sold out season passes this season. They've got a really good good factor about them, and I think they can have a really good season. Ipswich, on the other hand, I've got the likes of Hutchinson, Sammy Smodics, Jaden Philogene, and also the second most valuable squad in the league. I think this is going to be a really competitive game, so my score prediction is 2-2. Next up is Charlton versus Watford, and of course Charlton won the League One playoffs last season, defeating Leyton Orient, and managed to secure a spot in the Championship. My prediction is Charlton are going to be really good at home this season. I don't think they're going to be great away, I'm just pointing that out. But I do think they're going to make the home stadium a fortress, the Valley Park. It's a big stadium, and I do really think it's going to make an impact if they're going to stay up this season. Charlton signed Charlie Kelman, which I think is going to be a really big signing this season. I think he's going to score a lot of goals, especially if they want to stay up. Watford have also made 10 signings. However, I think this will be a stalemate. So my score prediction is 0-0. Next up is Coventry versus Hull. Of course, I'm a Hull fan, and we have made some great signings, such as Dylan Phillips, Semi Ajayi, Akin Femowo, Joe Nadala, John Lundstrom, Ennis Destan, Ollie McBurney, Joe Gelhart, and potentially more coming soon. Coventry have also got a great squad like Mason Clark and Jack Radoni. They've not made loads of signings this summer, if I'm being completely honest, but at the end of the day, they've got a really quality squad and definitely one of the favourites for playoffs. I think on opening day, it's going to be a really tough game, and my score prediction is 1-1. Next up is Southampton versus Wrexham. Of course, this game is on Sky Sports main event. Wrexham got a lot of hype around them, and of course, Southampton are favourites to win the league. They've got the most expensive squad in the league, so it makes sense. However, Aaron Ramsdale is going on loan to Newcastle, which is a huge loss. I think he would have been great in the Championship, and probably similar level to the likes of James Trafford. Wrexham have made some good signings like Ryan Hardy, Lewis O'Brien and Connor Cody. I do think Southampton have got a great attack, and my score prediction is Southampton 3, Wrexham 1. Next up is Middlesbrough versus Swansea. For me, Middlesbrough have been really underwhelming so far. I don't think they've made any big signings. Of course, they got Alfie Jones from Hull City, who I think will be a good player for them. Swansea signing Cameron Burgess is huge in my opinion. I think they've also got, the likes of Luka Modric and Snoop Dogg coming into the club, which will definitely put more eyes into the club. I think last minute scenes, and my score prediction is 1-0 Swansea on opening day, which will add more pressure to Middlesbrough. Next up is Norwich versus Millwall. Two teams who I think will be fighting for the playoffs this season. Both got quality squads. However, Norwich getting Kvistgaard from Denmark is huge. Of course, he was very good in the top division. I think getting over 25 G&A, which is incredible. For me, I think it's going to be a really close game, and I think for about 85 minutes, the score will be level. But later on, I think Norwich, they've got a great attack, and I think it will show in this game. So my score prediction is Norwich 2, Millwall 1. Next up is Oxford versus Portsmouth. For me, Oxford have got a really average squad who I think will struggle this year. That's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong because everyone said that about Oxford last season. Portsmouth got a lot of goals in the team like Bishop and Murphy. So for me, I think it's going to be a fairly even game. However, I'm going to go for 2-0 Portsmouth to start the season off. Next up is QPR versus Preston. Quain Poku is a great signing in my opinion. QPR have got some good players. However, I do think they're going to fail to score in this game. I think Preston are going to really frustrate QPR. I also think Preston have made some decent signings, but my score prediction for this game is going to be 0-0 to start the season off. Next up is Stoke versus Derby. Both done similar business this season. I think they've made some solid signings each. I think it's going to be a really competitive game where both teams have a lot of chances. So my score prediction for this game to start the season off is 1-1. Next up is West Brom versus Blackburn. For me, this is going to be a really close game. West Brom have had a really poor transfer window so far, and also a very underwhelming season last season. Blackburn have also not really made any good signings, and I also think their squad is pretty average. You know what? Even though I don't see that many goals in the team, I think this is going to be a really high-scoring game for some reason. For me, I'm going to go for West Brom 3, Blackburn 2 to start the season off. Next up is Sheffield United versus Bristol City. Of course, Sheffield United appointed Ruben Sellers. I think he's going to be a good manager for them. He's got a tough job ahead of him. Chris Wilder got sacked for losing the playoff final, So the expectation for Sheffield United is to get promoted. Losing Liam Manning to Norwich is not great for Bristol City. Of course, he got them playoffs last season, and it's going to be very difficult to replicate that again. Sheffield United also destroyed them in the playoffs, as we saw last season. Beat them 3-0 in the first leg away, and then beat them 3-0 at home. I'm going to go big here. I'm going to go Sheffield United 4, Bristol City 0 to start the season off. The final game of the Championship game week 1 is Leicester versus Sheffield Wednesday. For me, this game is going to be extremely one-sided. Sheffield Wednesday have got 15 players at the squad at the minute. They cannot sign a single player this window. So for me, I'm going to go Leicester 5, Sheffield Wednesday 0 to start the season off. In all honesty, I don't expect this video to get that many views, as it is posted just before Birmingham play Ipswich. As it's a new channel, I would really appreciate if you like the video and subscribe, and potentially share to other people, to get it in the algorithm. And anyways, I'll see you in the next one.